Greetings. So we're going to, for background today, have music for the body and spirit, HZ, which removes toxins and negativity from the body. We're doing Qigong. Stanford Community College presents Qigong as not a cure, but a preventative for COVID-19. It helps restore the lung activity, the lung chi. And on our last video, I was unfortunately interrupted with the commercials with the background music, so I realized I needed to redo this segment. So we're going to include the movements, but just discussing it from a preventative COVID-19 perspective. So here we go. We begin African Chiqong with the warm-ups. And then after the warm-ups, we go into the movements, the Tai Chi movements, and return to Chi at the end. So enjoy. I'll interrupt just briefly to point out the benefits for lung Chi. So we'll start with the warm-up, just waking up the Chi in the lung area. This is the lung meridian. And we're just tapping lightly. And I'll try to angle the camera below. And we're basically concentrating on the lung meridian, the middle energy center. Tapping lightly in the back and across the front of the shoulders. And we're going down the body midsection, back up, and pause. In this area, we're looking at tapping into the lymph node area, waking up the Chi in this area. Tapping lightly. You want to spend some time in this area. It addresses breast cancer. It's very preventative for lymph node problems, cystic fibrosis. So you want to spend some time in that area. Tapping lightly on the shoulder. I have some tension in this shoulder, so I spend a little time here. And then back down the forearm, up the back arm. And as you can see, I've already started to use lung activity, breathing deeply. You may not realize that this kind of activity, the slow movements, generate so much energy. But the exercise is causing my breathing to be accelerated so that I'm exercising the lung meridian. Go to the left side. Is this my right side? Oh, I always start on my left side. It's my most challenged side. So we're going to the right lymph node area. Just tapping it. And down the side, back up, across, back up through the middle. Tapping lightly on the shoulder, down the forearm, back up the back arm. These warm-ups are beneficial in themselves So if you don't spend the entire 20 minutes, which is not a lot of time to afford ourselves or health, you can do the warm-ups for about 5 to 10 minutes a day. Back to the kidney area, we're tapping lightly on the kidney area. You want to lean forward, head's always up, chin forward, down the sides. In Tai Chi, African martial arts, the head is always forward and we're looking up. You want to be facing in the martial arts, facing and looking ahead, looking out, looking into the eye of your opponent. So we're tapping lightly and just bouncing slightly as we tap up and down in this area. It's right above the hip and then right below as you tap. You want to pass that energy out. The next movement, the next warm-up actually, is going to be rotating the major joints. In this movement, we will be loosening up the chi in the joints 3 times. We're going to rotate our head to the left, and then 3 times to the right. The tongue is always at the roof of the mouth. In Tai Chi movements, the tongue is at the roof of the mouth. We're going to be rotating the middle energy center, hands on our waistline, and just with our feet together, rotating 3 times to the left and 3 times to the right. The tongue at the roof of the mouth creates the circuit. So you want to make sure that your tongue remains at the roof throughout the Tai Chi. Then we're going to be rotating our knees. So you just want to rub your knees, just gently get them going, and then rotating 3 times to the right, and then 3 times to the left. It doesn't really matter whether you go left or right. I just have been doing, and then I've been doing my left side first. I switched up that time. You're going to be rotating your knees out in an open knee position 3 times, and then 3 times in. 2, 3. And then you just give that massage again to your knees. And lots of us have issues in the knee area, so that just relaxes and restores the chi. Knees. Your ankles, so you want to point, your ankles are rotated next, so you want to point your right toe and then raise it up off the ground, rotate 3 times to the right, your ankle, and 3 times to the left. Then you flex, and point, and shake that out. If you're not able to balance, you can hold your foot on the ground, your toe can remain on the ground. So you're going to be doing the left side 3 times to the right, left ankle, and 3 times to the left. Rotating, flex, and point. And you can see these movements more clearly on the other Tai Chi videos that show you the full body. All right, so we're going to go to this next warm-up, and this one involves generating and stimulating the heart meridian. You're just dropping your arms, raising your arms up, all the way up as far as you can, and then dropping. And as you drop your arms, you'll raise, your body will involuntarily raise up off your heels. So you're not jumping, just raising your body up. This is good for heart stimulation. If you ever have chest pains, do this exercise. Very good. And then we're going into the 5 minutes of bouncing, where you're just, with your fist clenched, you're going to hold your fist at your waist, below your waist. For 5 minutes, meditating, doing this bounce exercise uses your body momentum to generate chi throughout your body. So with the warm-ups, you are generating enough chi to benefit you as we go into the Tai Chi movements. 5 minutes is minimal. If you want to go longer, this movement, this warm-up is very beneficial. And sometimes I use a 5-pound weight. You don't have to use the weights. I have started to benefit from weights in bone building, bone density building. It's helpful with that, as well as just strengthening my movement here and giving me a little more momentum, building up the chi. That's something I added, not because of an expert Qigong instruction. It's something that I have added that seems to benefit me. So with my 5-pound weights in each hand, I will do this bounce for about 5 minutes. Continuing on, we'll start with the Qigong movement. We'll begin with the right hand at the back that pulls us off the spine to create that circuit we talked about. We're building an energy circuit. Tongue is at the roof of our mouth. So we have a complete circuit. Stepping out on the left, we're going to be pulling energy from the heavens and then from the earth. 5 times from the heavens, 5 times from the earth. Ancestors looked to the heavens for information, and we looked to the earth for subsistence. We're going to be pulling the energy on the left first, and then on the right. So here we go. This energy creates the flow into the lung meridian that helps strengthen the lungs, COVID preventative. We're stepping out, drawing the energy from the heavens. Tongue is at the roof of the mouth. 3, 4. These movements are slow and simple and easy movements. Then we want the energy from the ground 5 times. Again, stimulating the lungs. drawing energy into the lung meridian. And on the 5th time, we're going to be going into what's known as cloud hands in Chiqong. And your hands should be raised so that you can see right between the clouds. So you're looking at the clouds, and you'll be taking it to the right, and then flipping the cloud hand, and then across the body to the left 11 times. 1, 2, I was at the roof of the mouth, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Counting the rotations calibrates the energy circuits. 11. So we have 11 configurations for that movement, and then we're sweeping across the ground. I'm bringing our hands back into cloud hands 1 time across the ground. And the next, sweeping twice across. 1 on the right, 2 on the left, back into cloud hands. So the calibrations bring us back to the correct position. We're going to be sweeping 3 times. 1, 2, and then in the 3rd sweeping motion, our hand goes right back to close off the spine as we bring our fingers together to form Sankofa. This movement is called looking at Sankofa through the eye of Horus. And we turn the Sankofa bird 1 time. We're going to be looking through the hole that the fingers make. It's looking through the eye of Horus, looking at Sankofa. We're going to be turning all the way to the back, all the way back around as far as we can, looking through the hole that the fingers make. We're looking at Sankofa through the eye of Horus. Looking at the hole again, looking through the hole that the fingers make. This strengthens the eye meridian, but it also strengthens the lung meridian. When you're going back around, you're flipping like a Big Dipper, like you're dipping the Big Dipper. When you're going back around, you'll see the stretch in your lung area. You'll feel that strengthening. And one last time, dipping, I want you to bring your arm right back to the front and clearing the chakras. So we go into the right side. Our left hand now is at the back, closing up the spine. We're going to be stepping out on our right, 5 times drawing the energy from the heavens. And as you stretch out, you feel the energy moving in your lung meridian. We feel the energy 5 times from the heavens, and we draw the energy 5 times from the earth to expand the lung meridian. 3, lung is at the roof of the mouth. 4, and you're looking at your hand movements, watching the movements. And then the 5th time, we're going to bring your hands up, palm hands on the right, and drawing that around across the body. You'll be bringing your hands and flipping across 11 times. 2, 3, 4. Is that the roof of the mouth? 5. And always looking through the cloud views. 6. You're meditating. 8. 9. Feel that breathing. And every time you're sweeping across, top hands up, expanding the lung meridian. And on the 11th count, we'll sweep across the body, across the ground rather, and back up into cloud hands 1 time. And then sweeping across 1, 2 times, back into cloud. And then 3 times across ground 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to be drawing that circle. Remember, we make the beak in Sankofa. And draw 3 times the circle on the ground. And then bringing, like the Big Dipper, up and dipping down, looking at Sankofa through the eye of Horus. Now those calibrations should bring you to the opposite side. So we're looking at Sankofa on the right. The calibrations will ensure your energy circuits are empowered and create the correct power configuration. The calibrations will be correct. Sometimes I'm getting instruction, and if I'm losing count, we'll apologize for that. We'll excuse that this time. But you should be on the right side after you do the correct count. So that's 11 times across the body, and then 1 time across the ground where you're sweeping across, and 2 times you're sweeping across the ground, and then on the 3rd time you will end at the correct configuration to begin looking at Sankofa through the eye of Horus on the right. So we're flipping the Big Dipper 3 times. That was the 3rd time, and we're clearing the chakras. Our next movement is bringing the sea to the top of Kilimanjaro. We're sweeping our hands extended out, sweeping across the sea, gathering the sea, and then bringing the energy up to the top of Kilimanjaro, to the top of the mountain. So we call this bringing the sea to the top of Kilimanjaro. So we're sweeping down, gathering the sea, and bringing our arms up and back. I want to just lean back a little. Again, extending the lungs as you bring your arms out. Sweeping again, we're going to be doing this 3 times. You want to bring the sea up to the top of Kilimanjaro as you lean a little bit farther back. A little bit further back. And then you're going to sweep 1 more time, drawing the energy from the sea. Notice my hands cross and gather the most energy. And then all the way back as far as you can. Your arms extended, your lungs expanded. And then you want to bring your hands back behind the nape and go couple your fingers at the back of the nape. So you want to lock your fingers. And you want to keep your hat. Then with the arms extended, your elbows extended, you're going to be turning to the right, back to the center, turning to the left, back to the center. And then elbows together, we'll be lifting our lifting our heels off the ground and going down. So you want your elbows together for balance for this movement. And you begin by lifting your heels off the ground as you bend your knees, going down simultaneously in this manner. All the way down, holding it there. And as you press your heels back to the ground, you'll come up. Heels back, press back down, and back up. So your knees are bent, elbows are bent, and then you want to bring your fingers and your hands back to the center and press the energy up. This is great for extending the lung meridian. It's great for balance as well. And to the left, back up, press the energy to the center, and down. So the next movement is we talk about water and fire meeting. The sea is the water, the heart is the fire. We'll be bringing the energy up from the ground in this circular motion up to the heart, creating energy, kinetic energy that we create as we draw this motion. So going down to the C, to the ankles, and you want to, heads up, rotate your hands in the circular motion all the way up to the heart meridian. And then as you get to the heart, hands connect the back of your hands together. And you'll be drawing O's with your elbows 3 times. 1, 2, 3 to the back. And 3 times forward. 1, 2. Again, extending the lung meridian. Extending those lungs, exercising those lungs. And as you push the energy out, you will again exercise the lungs. Hold it there like a bird's wings. Holding the energy there. When you pull the energy back into the center. So 3 times back, we're going to draw O's, 2, 3. And 3 times forward, you're going to be drawing O's with the elbows, 3. And then 3 times on each side, 6 O's. Going back, 4, 5, 6. And then the opposite direction, you'll go forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to be pushing that energy out like a bird's wings, holding it there, then drawing the energy back in. You'll be pushing the energy out again a little further, back in, and then pushing energy all the way out, up on your toes. This is good for balance as well. Expanding that lung meridian. Feel yourself breathing that energy, but you're feeling the buildup that you have, your energy circuit buildup during the chakras. The next movement will be in the horse horse stance. That'll be your feet shoulder width apart. And we'll be drawing the energy again from the middle energy center into the lung meridian. 3 times. 2. In this manner. So 1, 2, and on the third time you draw the energy in and you draw back your bow. Your finger points out. You're going to be looking at the index finger as you lean back. I'm looking at that index finger addresses the large intestine. You want to pull that energy again 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then draw back to the right, looking at the finger, the index finger. I'm going to do that 3 times on each side. 1, 2, and the second time on the left, drawing back the bow, expanding the lung meridian as you draw back, as well addressing the middle, the large intestine. Draw back and make sure you're looking at the index finger to address the large intestine. And then the third time, I see a finch in the bushes. It's awfully important to do Qigong and Tai Chi in nature when you can. And right now I can see out of my window, and that strengthens. So we're on our third jaw. Bow. Going to clear the chakras. And as we clear the chakras, we're ready to go into our next movement, which is called the Sleeping Lion Awakens. So we're still in our horse stance, and we're going to be crouching down. Our knees are bent, and your hands are resting on your knees, your elbow with your thumbs back, and your hands placed on your knees. And you can look closely at this positioning on the full-face videos, full-length videos. All right, we're going to be down in the crouch position, and then we want to make sure our fingers are connected with our thumb, forefinger and our thumb, and so you place that for the second part of this movement. So in the first position with your hands placed on your knee, you want to your ear to your wrist. Let it disappear down as far as I can. Touch my ear to my wrist, and then on the right, and then back up to the center. Then I want my fingers together, placed on my knee, where my thumb and forefinger are together to address the small intestine. I'm going to be pulling my earlobe, thumb and forefinger, all the way down. Just pretending to pull. As you pull in this area, in this position, your earlobe all the way down to the ground. And back up to the center. Going to straighten up. And then bring your feet back together through the chakra. That energy is strong, and it's expanding my lung area and breathing well. The next movement is called the dolphin's fins at the water. So we're going to be using the circular motion again to create that kinetic energy 11 times. You're just going to be rotating in this manner. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, move at the roof of your mouth, 10. And on the 11th time, you want to draw your hands, back of your hands together. And then, like a dolphin spin, you're going to flip your hand and your feet, your hand and your foot out at the same time on each side. So that was the left foot out, now right, and left hand and left foot, and now right. And then you draw 3 times, the energy 3 times. Again, hands pressed to the back. And then you're flipping out and actually calibrating the lung meridian in a joint or an adjustment, it's like a chiropractic adjustment, where you're just making sure that your lungs, 3, adjust. So that was a flip out, press. Alright, this next movement stimulates the brain stem. So your hand is on your solar plexus, your right hand, and then your left hand over your right hand. As you just go up on your toes and then back down on your heels, stimulating the spine, the brain stem. Just let yourself fall back down on your heels, up on your toes. Do that as many times as I feel the stimulus. So kinesiology will direct you. In other words, your body will tell you how many times to do this. So I've done that, stimulating my brain stem. This last movement is where we're drawing the ancestral energy in the middle energy center. And in a circular motion, our hands are going 4 times in a circular motion to the right. And then on the 5th time, we're going to be drawing the energy in very quickly and succinctly to expectorate the lung meridian. We're going to be using, it's almost like a coughing, expectorating sound. So when you make that sound, you'll be doing 3 times. And then you will be going to the left with the 4 times rotating. And then on the 5th time, that same movement, you're bringing that energy in. All right, so we'll start with the right. And we're going to rotate the energy 4 times. 1, 2, rotating the ancestral energy. 3, 4. And then on the 5th time, we'll bring our energy around and 3 times. Make that sound. We're going to do that on the left 4 times. Rotating to the left. 1, 2, 4. I call this ancestral energy because when we do the return chi, the return to chi follows this movement, and so we're going to be embracing our ancestors. We're drawing our hands all the way back. We're gathering all the energy we created into the center as we hug a tree. We're hugging our ancestors. I like to think of hugging my mom and dad. We're the strong ancestral energy center that we just created. We're going to be hugging and bringing our hands together, holding our elbows up, and then bringing that energy that we created down to the middle energy center across the lung meridian and pressing the energy, consciously packing and restoring that energy into the middle energy center. That energy we just created is stored up. Sit in consciously and meditate. And feel the energy joining into your middle energy center. Pressing the excess energy to the ground, to root and ground ourselves. Consciously rooting yourself to the ground. Thank you to the ancestors. Thank you to the universe. Ashe. Ashe. Asheo. And that's the end of the Tai Chi, African Tai Chi sessions. Daily. Stimulate the lung meridian to prevent COVID and strengthen the lung area against any attacks to the lung center. And during a critical moment, I will tend to do Tai Chi at least once a day. That is a sufficient amount of energy to collect all the energy that's stored up that gets me through whatever challenges I have that day and throughout the day. And sometimes throughout the week, that energy is strong enough and stored up. And this sensation that I feel is gone in my shoulder, that tension, at least a week. The more I do it, the more I strengthen that, and that pattern builds up so that it prevents any recurrence of lymph node issues. But particularly right now, any onslaught, any attacks against the respiratory system, you're strengthened against those. You want to do your immune building. You want to continue with vitamin C, copious amounts of as much immune building as you can. Zinc, quercetin. I use flaxseed oil, but you can do any omega-3s, any immune building therapies that you're using already. Continue with that, coupled with building the chi in your lung area. And then one more item. I didn't think I was going to bring this to you during this session, but give me 1 second. I'm going to bring it to you now. Okay, it's called the Active Personal Air Purifier, ActivePro Personal Air Purifier. And just with this switch, I switch on. This little device protects 3 to 6 feet around me. So if I'm going out in the community, I will wear this device. And the only thing you can, it's silent. You can't hear. You can feel the air generating if you put it close to your nostrils. You wear it around. ActivePure. I'll provide a link. You can get more information about this little device. There's the personal air purifier. There is the car or the mobile size. It's a little bigger. And then the household and the building purifier that purifies 13 feet around. I won't show you that device right now. I could bring it because it is light and a small unit. But I don't want to turn it off. I leave it on in my house, in my office, in the building, wherever I'm working. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it stays on. And it only uses the amount of electricity power that a light bulb would use. So, very convenient. High technology. It's super recent technology that was used in NASA space technology engineering, as well as FDA approved. So we all have these in our homes protecting us against COVID-19. When you have this, you can't get it. I wear my mask regulations when I go out, but I also have this, so I'm double protected. I know some people are doing double masking. It's already hard to breathe with one mask. So if you're doing double masking, you might consider just the personal air purifier. And I will put, again, the link in the comments section. It's Vollara.com/Ajay, and that's spelled VOLLARA.com/ADJEI. You can purchase this for as little as it costs to buy donuts every day for 2 months. What you want to do is weigh out the benefits of your life compared to cost, because there's no amount that is worth your life. All right, so I'm going to end with that. I appreciate your joining me with the lung preventative COVID-19 Tai Chi session. This is Akosala signing off, and I would like to just invite you to check out the ActivePro Air Purifier. Yes, I know there are other air purifiers. This is the highest technology, and it's the only one that's 99.99999% guaranteed to prevent COVID-19. It's the only one on the market. Preventative for any kinds of bacteria if you have allergies and other kinds of respiratory issues, asthma. This is the one to get. Thank you. Peace off.